So you're having trouble with your frontside 180s, aren't you? Maybe you're not getting them high enough, maybe you can't land on it, or maybe you just don't know how to keep rolling switch after you do it. Well, today in this video I'm going to tell you how to frontside 180, and I'm also going to go over the common mistakes that people make a lot that prevent them from learning this trick. So thank you for clicking on this video. First step though, if you don't know how to ollie, make sure you check out my Why You Can't Ollie video, which is on my channel, and you should be able to click the card in the top right corner here, so make sure you check that out. If you already know how to ollie, then you're already on the right video. So this tutorial slash trick tip is going to be a little bit faster than most of my normal trick tips, just because once you get a solid foundation of the ollie, this is not going to be that hard to learn. So really, before you try this trick, just make sure you have a decent ollie. It does not have to be perfect, but just make sure you can have your ollies controlled, and that's pretty much it. But if you're just learning, maybe get your ollies a little bit down more and then come to this video. So just so you can get an understanding of this trick, I'm going to show you a few things of what it takes to do a frontside 180. So what I see, I guess the most common error that I see the most times, they try to learn the frontside 180s when they do like kind of like this, and it prevents them from rolling switch. So that was my biggest problem with learning them. The way to get over this, you have to see the 180 like this. So just observe how I'm doing this. So if you look closely, what I did was pivot off my front truck. A lot of people try to do a trick where they try to pivot off their back truck. So they're not landing on their front truck first, they're kind of just going like that. And you're not gonna be able to keep rolling switch if you do it. Just practice that motion over and over again. So what you're gonna do is put your front foot a little bit, I guess, like on the top set of bolts, like just where the curvature starts to go on here, not the very tip of the tail. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna lift your back foot up and turn over in the front side direction. You're just gonna go like this. So just keep trying that, just keep rolling forward and do that motion over and over again. And if you're having trouble with this, all you have to do is kind of just start with your weight over on your front foot, and then transfer that weight over to your back foot when you're going over. So you're gonna go here, and then lean on your back foot. So with that in mind, like I said, where you have to pivot over your front truck, I just want to give you another example of why pivoting on your back truck won't work in most cases. So I got one of my extra skateboards here. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna try to ollie over it without trying to land on my front truck first, and then you're gonna see what's gonna happen. So if you saw that closely, what happened is my tail hit the board. So what I need to do is I need to get my tail over the board. So how to do that, because this is the main thing. So when you're learning, just like what you did with the pivoting over here, just without lifting up, when you ollie, what you want to do is want to try to land on your front truck first, and then pivot the rest of the way. So you don't have to over exaggerate this, but what you need to do is try to land on your front truck first. So I guess just a way to exaggerate it in the beginning, you can do the ollie, but just like slam your front foot down first. So just go like this. So just get used to slamming your front foot down a bunch of times when you're trying this. So maybe even just do regular ollies and just try to go like this. So as long as you can do that, you're going to be able to pivot it over. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ollie over this board and just watch really closely to my front foot, and you're going to see I'm going to pivot off the front truck when I land it. So if you inspect that video very closely, you'll see that my front truck hits the ground first, and that is what allows me to keep rolling switch, because if your back truck hits the ground first, sometimes you'll be able to sneak it, but most of the time you will not be able to keep rolling switch, and you're not going to be able to do it over any obstacles as well. So make sure you try to learn this trick with the pivot. You don't have to fully pivot, but just make sure you try to land on your front truck first when you're going on the ground. So like I said before, I think that's the most common error I see with the frontside 180. I struggle with that a lot until I actually force myself to learn it. A quick way you can try to learn this is first starting off just trying to land 90-degree rotation. So just first you're going to try to go like this, and just make sure you get that over and over again. And then once you're ready to go for full 180, you're going to try to land at least 90, and then land on your front truck and then pivot it over. So what I mean is kind of like just going like this. So you're going to go 90, and land over and push it over. So you don't really have to do the slide, but just try to make sure you force that front truck down when you're trying to 180. So you're just going to go like this. Just some general tips with the 180, you want to make sure you always throw your shoulders with it, because if you use your legs too much, this is going to happen. You're going to throw them, and then you're not gonna be able to get over it, or you're not gonna be able to keep rolling, or you're gonna lose your balance. So always make sure you wind up your shoulders first, and then you're gonna throw it all the way over. Don't use your hips too much. Your hips are gonna follow when you do it, because look, if I do this, my hips are gonna follow over. But if I go like this, it's like I had to force myself to do this. But if you use your shoulders, your legs will always follow. I'm gonna wind them up. I'm gonna bring it all the way over. So the next common error that I see the most, or things that I went through, was not being able to land on the board when I did the 180. So basically what would happen is I would be able to do the rotation, but I would either land too inward where the board would like kind of just go on my toes and then fall over, or I would jump too far over the board. So with this is just an easy, simple fix. So what you're gonna do is, if you're landing too far inside where your toes are kind of landing on the board, what you want to do is just put your feet more over the board. So basically what I mean is just move your toes up across the width of the board. And basically what this is gonna do is when you're turning, your feet are gonna stay more over the board while you're basically pulling it back during the rotation. So just make sure you put it more over if that's happening. And if you're jumping too far over, one thing you can do is kind of just lean over your back. So I mean like behind your heels pretty much. So kind of lean back behind your heels, and that will kind of fix it more if you're jumping too far over the board. And for the last mistake that I kind of see quite often is people want to get their 180s higher and be able to do it over stuff. So basically the most common thing that I see with it is they're not doing the method like I said before, where we have to land on your front truck first, because that forces you to kind of bring your front truck over something. And then lastly, something you want to do is you don't want to kind of scoot your back foot too much when you're doing the trick. So you kind of want to actually do an actual ollie while turning your shoulders, because a lot of people just have a tendency to kind of just scoot the board and let that do the work for them, just kind of just like almost do a front shove it for them. So basically don't do that too much. Maybe do that if you're just learning it, just to get a feel for it. But what you want to do is you actually want to try to do a real ollie and then just turn your shoulders with that, and then you'll be able to actually do the full frontside 180. So that's pretty much it just for the frontside 180. Don't think too hard on it. As long as you can ollie, you can do this trick, because all you have to do is just throw your shoulders with it. So just remember the tips I said. Just practice rolling like this first and bringing your front truck over. Once you get that, try to land with your front truck first when you're doing the frontside 180. So just trying to force it where you go. And then also make sure your feet are quite over the board, just so you're not too far over when you're landing it and you're not too far back when you're landing it. And also with the foot positions, it's not just that, it's also the way you lean. So let's say you're leaning too far this way where it's landing like this. You want to lean more over your toes. And if you're jumping over the board when you're 180ing, you want to lean behind your heels. So just kind of like analyze what you're doing with each attempt and then try to fix it based on what's happening. So if you made it to the end, thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you learn how to frontside 180. If you have any more troubles with this, do not hesitate to send me video attempts on Instagram. It's SeanBrown99. So just send me attempts there. I've helped a lot of people with their ollies and other tricks that they've been requesting for me to help with, and they learn it pretty quick after I tell them, just because I've had a lot of trouble learning some of these tricks and I know kind of the shortcuts to get them. Also, when the video is up, I don't know when it's going to be up, but I will also have a backside 180 tutorial, so if that's up, it will be in the top right corner here. So make sure you check that out if it's up. If it's not, then just maybe turn on the post notifications so you can be notified when I upload that video. Otherwise than that, I hope you guys learned this trick. Please let me know if you're having any troubles or if you have any other tips I can give in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and then turn on post notifications if you want to be notified whenever I upload. So thank you for watching so much. Have a great day.